9s5. So I'm going straight into the method I would like you to learn, which is how to factorize a quadratic. So when we factorize, that means we are going to start from an expression, so with x's and so on, and turn it into something with brackets. Okay, so an example, we'll go through it in a minute. If I have x squared plus 8x plus 15, we're going to see how you can go from that to something with brackets. Okay, you've already done how to expand brackets, how do you go from the bracket to without the bracket, so we're going the other way around. Okay, we've got this and we've got this. We'll see how I found the 3 and the 5 from this information. So I would like to take a step back first. What I'm going to do is set you a little challenge. We've got something like this. Okay, I've got two numbers and I'm going to pick 2 and 1. And then I'm going to use these little boxes. Here I'm going to do the times and here the plus. So 2 times 1 is 2. I put the 2 here. 2 plus 1 is 3. And I put it there. Okay. Another example. If I pick this time 5 and 2. This is my times, this is my plus. What goes here is 5 times 2 is 10. And 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay, and one last one, I'll make it up on the spot. Let's use 4 and 3. Right, here is my times, here is my plus. 4 times 3 is 12. And 4 plus 3 is 7. So far, so good. Now, when it's interesting is when we try to go backwards. So I'm going to make up 1. Let's look at 1 together. Okay. And I'm going to be using, for this one, plus and times, I'm going to be using, here I'm going to be using 6, and here I'm going to be using 5. So now I'm trying to find two numbers. When I times the two numbers, I don't know what they are, question mark, question mark. When I times them, I get 6. When I add them, I get 5. So I need to think of all the ways I can make 6 by timesing. That's the way I would start. So to times and get 6, what can you do? Think of your times table. Okay, 1 times 6, or 6 times 1, the order doesn't matter. 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. That's the only two ways I can think of, okay, to by timesing to get to 6. So I need to check, when I add them, what I get. 1 plus 6 is 7, doesn't work. But 2 plus 3 works, it gives me 5. So that's my answer, okay? I'm going to be using 2 and 3, or 3 and 2. It doesn't matter. You notice I could have used 2 and 1, 1 and 2, 5 and 2. The order doesn't matter. What we want is the two numbers. So quick check, 2 times 3 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. Let's look at another example. I'll give you this one here. The plus and the times. The plus is 7 and the times is going to be 10. Okay, so let's think about that. You can pause the video if you want. Right, so how can I make 10 by timesing? I can do 1 times 10, or 1 times 10, times 10, or 2 times 5. It's not in the 3 times table, it's not in the 4 times table, not in the 6 times table. So that's it. That's the only two ways. So I'm going to use that and see which one of these two is going to give me 7? 1 plus 10 is 11, doesn't work. 2 plus 5 is 7, it works. So the two numbers are 2 and 5. All right, okay, so I'm just going to put a few examples, and I will like you, so that was my examples. I'm going to put a few there, and I would like you to have a go. You can then pause the video, have a go, and then check with the answers. Okay, so my question here, I want to find the two numbers. When I times, I'm going to get 10. Then when I add them, I'm going to get 11. Okay, I'm going to put this one now. When I add them, I'm going to get 11. But when I times them, I'm going to get 30. Okay, let's do another one. When I add them, I'm going to get 11. And when I times them, I'm going to get 24. When I times them, I'm going to get 24. When I add them, I'm going to get 10. Okay, 24 and 10, 24, 11. They're very close, but they're not the same, and that will be a very different answer. And let's do one last one. Okay, 24. Again, so that's for timesing. And for plussing, I'm going to be doing 14. Okay, so you can have a look at that. Pause if you want, and then I'll go through the answers. Hopefully you pause, you had a good go at it, and now let's look at it. Let's look at the answers. So, I've got two ways to make 10. We saw them before. It was 1 times 10 or 2 times 5. So 2 times 5, we used it there. It gives you 7. It's not a possible option here. So the one we're going to use is 1 and 10. Quick check. 1 times 10 is 10, and 1 plus 10 is 11. That works. Now, this one, the target to make is 30. You need to think of all the ways to make 30. There's quite a few, because you've got one lot of 30, you've got 2 lots of 15. See, knowing your times table helps a lot. 3 lots of 10, 4 and 5 lots of 6. Okay, so you're going to look at all of them. Which combination gives you 11 when you add them? 1 and 30, 31, too big. 2 and 15, 17, too big. 3 and 10, 13, too big. Close, but too big. 5 times 6, 11. That's the one you wanted. So it's 5 and 6. 5 times 6, 30. 5 plus 6, 11. Right. Another one with 11. This time is 24. There are lots of ways to make 24. Okay. Again, 1 times 24. 2 times 12. 3. 3 times what? 3 times 8. 4. 4 times what? 4 times 6. 5 doesn't work. Right. We've got all of them. Okay. So which one is going to give you 11 when you add? Okay, and you find out it's 3 and 8, because 3 times 8 is 24. 3 plus 8 is 11. Next one we can get from the same list. My target is 10. I just need to look. Here we go. 4 and 6. Okay, 4 times 6, 24. 4 plus 6, 10. Last one. I still got 24 for my target. I can look from the same list, and I get 2 and 12, because 2 times 12, 14. 2 plus 12, 2 times 12, 24, and 2 plus 12 is 14. So 2 and 12. Here we go. Right. So hopefully you're happy with that. If not, I suggest you have another go. Or at the video, start from the beginning, or give me drop me an email and I can give you a few more examples. Now, I'm going to see what's the link between this and my first question. What I started to mention first of all. I had x squared plus 8x plus 15. How did I manage to turn into the brackets like this? Well, what I did in my head, I did exactly the same thing. So let's do it. Let's use that example. Okay, so I'll do it one more. So remember, you put the timesing at the top, plusing at the bottom. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write it by the side. X squared plus 8x plus 15. I'm going to take the one at the end, and I'm going to put it into the times. And I'm going to take the other number, 8, and I'm going to put it there. So now I need to do exactly what I did before. Okay, how do I make it 15? Well, two ways: 15 times 1 or 3 times 5. And hopefully you would have already noticed which one is going to work when I add the numbers together. 15 and 1, 16. No. 3 plus 5, 8. Yes. So I got 3 and 5. And let's compare this. 3 and 5. 3 and 5. That means that can be written like this. X plus 3. X plus 5. I just pick the two numbers. Okay, the 3 and the 5, which is, by the way, x plus 5 times x plus 3. Okay, it doesn't matter which order it is. What matters is for you to find the two numbers. Okay, so the thing to remember, I'm going to do a couple more examples, and then you should be set for the homework. Okay, for the work the worksheet I prepared for you. So, what you need to do is to make sure you don't get confused. The number at the end is the target for the timesing. Okay, 15 goes at the top, this one at the bottom. So let's look at another example together. I've got x squared plus 8x plus 12. So what am I going to do? Same thing, plus times. What did I say? I said this one at the end goes at the top. So my target for timesing is 12. And my target for plussing is 8. So can you think of two numbers? I'm not going to write the list now because hopefully you should get a little bit quicker with that. You can use your timetable. You can look on you Google it and do times tables, and you can see all your times tables. It doesn't really matter how you do it, but the idea is thinking of all the ways to make 12 in the times table. So you've got 2 times 12, 2 times 6, 1 times 12, 3 times 4. So the one you're going to use here is 6 and 2. Because 6 times 2 is 12, 6 plus 2 is 8. And now I found my two numbers. So I can say it's x plus 6, x plus 2. And that's it. That's all it is. Okay, so let's do one last one, and hopefully you should be happy with it. If you're not, please let me know. Watch the video again, and if it still doesn't help, let me know. Okay, so we've got I'm going to do for my last example, times and plus, and I'm going to write x squared. Ooh, running out of examples now. What can I use? Okay, I'm going to use plus 10x plus 21. Okay, so what do I need to do? The 21 at the end, I'm going to put it there. So 21 here. And then the 10 goes at the bottom. So now my target is, how do I make 21 by timesing numbers? Times table, how do I make 21? So hopefully you think straight away, oh, it's 3 times 7. So double check, what is 3 plus 7? It's 10. That's it. 3 times 7, 21. Nice. 3 plus 7, 10. That's it. We've got the two numbers. So what can we do? Don't forget the last step is to say this is equal to x plus 3, x plus 7. Voila. Okay, so as I said, please get in touch if you're not sure, and hopefully the homework, which is the part A of the worksheet, should make more sense to you now. Okay, good luck and take care.